Hello, and today we'll be talking about the coronavirus and how it can affect us all. The coronavirus has become a global pandemic and can affect you even if you don't have the virus itself. Imagine planning a knee surgery for months, and right before the surgery, the hospital says that you have to wait, and they had to cut back on that department of the hospital so they can focus on handling patients with the coronavirus, and your surgery was pushed back several months or possibly a year or two. The coronavirus is greatly impacting how hospitals prioritize their space and resources, and this is affecting so many people in the hospital who are not connected to the coronavirus at all. The best thing that we can do as patients is to practice proper sanitation and safety precautions and using the proper forms of PPE, and that means personal protective equipment. We need to focus on flattening the curve of the virus because the more patients with coronavirus will lead to even more attention on controlling the virus in the hospital, and that means less attention for the other departments in the hospital, and people need those departments every single day. At my time volunteering at Shands Hospital, it showed me the importance of practicing proper hygiene and using the correct forms of PPE, and this can greatly help us control the spread of the virus and lower the curve. The increased priority of COVID-19 patients means less space and resources for people with other diseases, and the doctors and nurses who specialize in treating those other diseases are beginning to become let go from the hospital. So many people are affected and forced to push back any planned surgeries, and they're not getting the proper appropriate attention to other diseases that they may have had. Not only is this affecting patients, but it is also affecting the doctors and nurses who work and specialize in those different parts of the hospital. According to Leila Fidel of NPR, 121,000 jobs were lost in the hospital since January of this year. Their budget has been greatly reduced, and not only are people losing jobs, but it is partially affecting their local economy. Without doctors and hospitals, we won't have any hospitals. And without hospitals, we won't have anyone to treat us for any other diseases or injuries that we can still sustain even after the virus has died out. This is why it is so important for us to do our part in controlling the spread of the virus and limit any sort of potential new infections that we may get. So using the proper forms of PPE in hospitals can greatly help reduce any disease transmission between people by keeping all bodily fluids within that own person and preventing any airborne diseases from entering our own systems. Not only can PPE help us reduce the spread of infections, but also having the common courtesy to practice appropriate hygiene can help too. So that's like washing our hands, taking frequent showers, and keeping our overall body clean from any sort of diseases that may be living on our body and our skin. Teaching patients the importance of practicing proper safety precautions can help entice them to regularly practice each step, and that can go a long way in reducing the overall spread of the virus and flattening the curve of the coronavirus. Reed Abelson from the New York Times has stated that the federal and state officials have shut down elective surgeries and other non-essential medical care, which has left the country's over 5,000 hospitals in a difficult position to reopen and start using those other departments again. Procedures like knee replacements, colonoscopies, and mammogram screenings were all halted during the wake of the coronavirus outbreak. If the virus continues to spread, we won't be seeing any of these surgeries or procedures coming back anytime soon. And Oregon Governor Kate Brown stated that as anyone waiting for an elective surgery knows that any non-urgent surgery does not mean that it's minor. Although you may not have the coronavirus, it still is very essential for you to make sure that you don't ever become infected or infect anyone else, just for the sake of you needing a different procedure in the future, and the hospital might not have prioritized that and may have gotten rid of it, and it would be difficult for them to bring it back. So what do we need to do to prevent any more destruction in the hospital? First thing we need to do is we need to practice social distancing to the best of our abilities to seriously limit any sort of physical contact with any other people, any other friends or coworkers. The second thing we need to do is make sure we're using the proper forms of PPE when in hospitals, because that would help us reduce any sort of infections coming to us or us infecting any other people in the hospital. And the third thing we need to do is we need to the easiest thing is to frequently wash our hands and just keep our overall bodies clean, because so many diseases could be living on our bodies, and just simple washing our hands, using hand sanitizer can kill that. Overall, the coronavirus has undoubtedly hurt our nation and the world, but if we don't take the required measures to end the pandemic as soon as possible, then we may still be suffering from its effects even after it has died out. Thank you.
And here's my audience.
Oh, we have to clap. Yeah!